Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 11 of Sea of Thieves. Now, if you're coming from Season 11 and onward, this video is for you, whether you're a new player or you're a returning player. Now, if you've been playing, you know that there have been a lot of changes to Season 11 with Season 11 to Sea of Thieves. The entire quest system, everything is all reworked, and I felt that maybe it needs a little bit of an introduction because it can be a little bit confusing because there's a lot of things to click through now. And I may be showing one of two things here, whether this screen that you're seeing me on now, or it will be on a different screen that I will record separately so that you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at here. So, welcome in. Thank you for all the support lately, and I appreciate every single one of you. All right, so when you first come back into Sea of Thieves, you're going to find that you have the play option and the guilds option, and this is going to look pretty similar to Season 10 because guilds are added and such. This is a guild management page, and that could be a whole other conversation. Very short, but a whole other conversation. The main tab you want to go to is play. If you're a first-time player, go through the Maiden Voyage tutorial. It helps with a lot of the basics. It's a good way to get a good starting point with gold and doubloons, two of the currencies in Sea of Thieves. The Legend of Monkey Island is the same thing as going into Adventure. The only difference is instead of spawning inside the tavern, you spawn on the beach in front of Kate, who initiates these quests. So you can choose to start here. We'll point here. You can choose to start here, or you can choose to start with adventure. Your call. Now, if you're brand new to the seas, you can play Safer Seas. I would still recommend, against everything else, I would still highly recommend playing the game as it's intended to be played, which is High Seas. So go into High Seas. If you don't have a guild, you're not part of a guild, you won't be able to select sail for a guild, which is currently behind me. And you won't be able to do my ships because you are not a captain yet and you do not have that. Otherwise, you're going to hit charter a ship and you will start with that. I'm going to go for my guild ship because that's what I have and it's currently available. Now you'll hit set sail or sail sloop, and then you can choose what you are going to play as. With the guild, you get this option for guild crew, which is your friends or guild members can join you. Open crew is obviously public. Anyone that's trying to also match for an open crew can get put on your ship. For purposes of this, doing closed crew, most of the time, if you're playing by yourself or with a crew member or with 3 crew members, you're going to select this option. And once that option is selected, it'll highlight over here on this right-hand side. It'll say what you're doing, which apparently I clicked the Legend of Monkey Island. High Seas, which means adventure full. You can get everything. It's not closed off like the private version of Safer Seas. And then, yeah, my microphone's ready. We're good to go. Apparently, I'm going to set sail here, and we're just going to wake up on the beach. Okay. Here we are. We're in the tavern because apparently it was just bugging out, and it didn't actually mean Legend of Monkey Island. I don't know why that happened. So before Season 11, you would be like, oh, well, what do I want to do? And you'd hit tab, and you'd have all these options. This should look pretty similar. And you used to have an option up top here for quests. That is now gone because you no longer can access your quests from your personal inventory. You used to be able to then go to a trading company member and purchase quests from them. You can also no longer do that. So when you go up to the Gold Hoarder or the Merchant or Order of Souls, or the Mysterious Stranger. I think you can do it from the Mysterious Stranger. I don't think so, actually. Nope.
You look like you have.
It doesn't have access to it. The Pirate Lord in Athena's hideout is where you gain access to the legendary promotions and things like that. It is not where you go to buy quests anymore, which is actually huge because that was kind of time consuming and took up a lot of time. So instead, you would go up to them and you would hit F to open their shop if you're on keyboard or whatever it prompts you on. Open the shop and you get these options here. You can actually raise your emissary flag directly from here, which is cool. Or you can still vote on the table. You can view the commendations for the trading company. You can go to the company shop, which will have everything that is available to you based on your level in the company shop. So there's that. But the big thing is promotions. So every time you level up to it's like every 10, 20, it varies. But essentially, it's every time that you hit the next milestone. So right now you can see over there, I'm at level 85. Or I need to be to level 85 to unlock the next reputation level. Once we get to our ship, we can look at the actual quests and how to do voyages. So over here, you have your quest table, which used to just be a captain's table. You don't want to vote on your hourglass unless you are purposely trying to either dive to do PvP or you're trying to initiate the ability to get raided by other players doing PvP. And so now we will go to our quest table. So you're at your quest table and you see these new tabs here. You've got Discover. Discover, from what I can tell, now it would be different if you were brand new. But for me, it's showing me like the next level of thing that I need to do. So some of these is showing the new voyages that I've unlocked. And if I click on them, it'll take me directly to that page, which is kind of cool in the voyages. So Discover is just like kind of a hot bar to quickly push you to immediately find something that you want to do. And then we'll skip voyages for just a second. Then you have your tall tales, and you can choose from the 4 different tall tales that are currently available. And by 4, I mean the 4 different stories of tall tales. So the Shores of Gold is the main story all the way to fighting the Gold Hoarder. So you want that gold curse, which is behind me. That guy. If you want that guy, you want to get the golden curse. You have to complete all of the tasks within these tall tales. And you can track the progress of that in your reputation tab, which is not on this table. Okay. Then you got the Pirate's Life ones, Pirates of the Caribbean, Monkey Island ones, and then the 2, hopefully more this year, cross your fingers, hopefully more, of the Seabound Soul and the Heart of Fire, which is how you get the Ashen Curse. Super easy way to get the Ashen Curse. It takes like 3 tries. That one. We could talk about that later if you want to know more about that. Backing out of that, we have our liked voyages. So when you're in the voyages, you have the option to like it or unlike it. So I can hit 2 for me and it'll remove it from my liked voyages. But if I click on voyages, let's say you want to do, you can't do anything for Hunter's Call right now or Reaper's Bones. There's no like quests you can do. But you can do voyages for Athena's Fortune, Merchant Alliance, Order Souls, and Gold Hoarder. For purposes of this, I'm just going to collect Gold Hoarder. Once you're in it, you can also toggle between them at the top with whether Q and E, or you can go through. The last one's kind of cool because it has random voyages or a random tall tale. So if you just want to you don't care, you just want to go do something, you could just select random voyage and it'll take you to one. I haven't done that yet. And I found that while I was going through this and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Or you can go down into the Sunken Kingdom one if you have it unlocked. So you have to read all the journals in each shrine in order to unlock this one. But that's where that is. To get the coral curse, I think you have to complete this one to get the coral curse. So if you've done all the journals and all the other shrines, this should then appear here. And there's currently no limited voyages. We can get into that when the time comes. Okay. So you want to start a quest. This is where you go. And it's actually really cool because you don't have to manage your quests anymore. And you can't be like, oh, I already have 5. I got to delete 1 or whatever the cap was, right? Before. You can say, oh, I just want to do buried treasure. That's all I want to do. You can pick a basic one. You can pick an ashen one. This one, you can dive over to the Devil's Roar. The Devil's Roar. I was going to say the Ashen Roar, but that's not it. To the Devil's Roar and do the quest there immediately. Or you can just do this, hit sail to location, and you can, off you go. You just sail to it, or you can dive. You'll switch servers potentially and go to another server and do it there. You also have riddle quests, which are the like pull up your map, go to an island, and then it'll be like, hey, by the shark rock, you read the map or play the music or whatever. There's easy ones that are on large islands, short riddles and long riddles. Buried treasure, you get 2 hidden treasure chests or 3. And then you have the treasure vaults. And each of these will unlock over time. So if you're starting off brand new, you may only have access to buried treasure and riddle. As you level up in each trading company, you will gain access to doing these other quests. I'm not sure what you start off with as a base because I'm level 81. So there's Ashen Vaults, which you can do later too, and Ashen Pirates Treasure Vault and an Ashen Captain's. 6 and 4. So some are just a little bit shorter, and it gives you kind of an idea of like how long it's going to take based on that, right? Then there's the medley, and I did a medley for the Gold Hoarder the other day. It was crazy because you get a riddle map, you get an X marks the spot map, and you get a compass for finding the vault key for doing a treasure vault. So it's basically the first 3 combined into one. My treasure map, my X marks the spot one, actually had the exact same location for a chest as my key for the vault. And the vault was on the island that I was on. So I literally had 3 things at one island, and I got them all done at once, and it was crazy. So not that you'll get that lucky every time, but totally worth doing if you just want to do a bunch of Gold Hoarder quests all at once. Then you have, and the same goes for souls, you have Medley there, which is just the combination of the different bounties or ghost ship battles or whatever. And I can do an individual per faction or trading company video. If you would like that, let me know. I would love to do that. I might even go through the tutorial that's here just so you can see it in case you're like, hey, I don't have time. I don't want to do that. I just got a subscriber while I'm recording. So thank you. That's so funny. That scared me half to death. Okay, let's talk about raid voyages. Raid voyages will change your life. Okay? Some people are like, oh, diving to locations is dumb. Maybe for regular quests, it's dumb. But for world events, it's not. Now, I would personally recommend the Ashen Lord ones and the Skelly Forts when you're doing Gold Hoarders. And when you're doing Order of Souls, I would recommend the Bounty for Skeleton Lords, whether here or down here in the Ashen one, because they are awesome. They give good loot. You can get them done pretty quickly. And they just drop stuff that's worth a lot of money. And you keep your flag. So you go to it, you get your emissary flag up, because you do have to I think you have to fly an emissary flag while doing it. to raid something. Could be wrong, but it might just be, actually, maybe you wouldn't need an emissary flag. I highly recommend always having an emissary flag, no matter what. But yeah, the raid voyages are super cool. I've been doing them on our live streams here on YouTube. It's been a ton of fun to just pop up and boom, go in, fight them, get their loot, and then go turn in, and then dive and do it again, right? It's super, super, super fun. But the new UI is a little bit intimidating, and I totally get that. Like, I look at this and it's a lot to take in, but it's really not as complex as it looks. Merchant needs some work. I've done a few of the merchants, and merchants is obviously just, it has its struggles. It's a lot harder to earn a ton of money doing merchants, but not done a lot of raid voyages as a merchant. So maybe that would be the key, would be doing that. Every new faction has a bunch of new loot or trading company. I call them factions all the time, but they're technically trading companies, and they all have new loot. It's so much fun to be like, wow, what is this? We haven't seen that before. And even for me, who's been playing since the game came out, it's huge because it's the sandbox has gotten an update, which is something that veteran players have been asking for, is please just work on the sandbox. Stop adding side quests. We're so done with side quests. So now we have main quests directly affiliated with each trading company, and it's awesome. So you can do the same thing here. The Legends ones are getting reworked, hopefully with the update that comes out on the 19th of February, which should be the day this video goes out. Cross your fingers that I do it on time. So we can talk about that in its own video, because I don't want to talk about Ashen Voyages yet because it's not out. It's just same as it was. So they are reworking them. It should be updated to where you get more Athena-based loot, which is awesome because nothing's worse than doing a Athena voyage and getting captain's chests, which is so dumb because it doesn't help your Athena rep at all. But yeah, so that's your generic overlook at our brand new UI. It's a lot to take in, but it's really, really cool because you can literally just do quest after quest after quest. And as long as you don't dive, you can just keep going as long as you want. You never have to go to an outpost to pick up more quests. But the other thing I'll say, and this is not UI related, is do not sleep on messages in a bottle. Captains that you find on the beaches, kill them all. Get their quests that they drop. Get their skulls that they drop. The King's Wrath skull, I think that's the one. But there's a bunch of them. They usually drop the high level skull. It's worth like 4,000 to 5,000. Guys, it's insane. Like, kill those skeletons because it's totally worth your time to get sidetracked and do stuff that's on the islands. Some message in a bottle quests will actually lead you to killing skeleton lords on a random island. It's so cool. Seriously, it's totally cool. It's an awesome new quest. It's a great way to get those commendations done for skeleton lords. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. And if you have any questions or things that you want me to kind of delve deeper into, let me know. This is more of an overview just because it's new for everyone. And some people might be like, I don't know what to do. I just do PvP. It's too much, and they just ignore it, right? And that's fine. But for everyone who is starting fresh, this could be a lot to look at and be like, I don't know what any of this means. So yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out, comment in the comments, message me on Twitter, follow me, go to my Discord, whatever. There's tons of us available for helping. But yeah, that's the quest table. In terms of your personal UI, there's not much new. It's all about the same as it was in season 10. If you haven't been in since season 10, then it might be a little bit different looking. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I'm starting to grow more and more every day. And I'm hoping to continue pushing out content for Sea of Thieves because there's new life in the seas, not just in terms of the content and the things that they're adding to the game, but also to the players. So if you're new here, new to Sea of Thieves, thank you for being here. bring your positivity to the seas and let's just ignore the naysayers, man. Don't let them get to you. They get to me all the time, and the game is alive and it's really doing well. And I'm hoping to see much, much more awesome stuff this year for Sea of Thieves. And we're going into year 6, and we're just hoping that year 6 looks a lot better than year 5. So, anyways, thank you again, and I will catch you next time.